That'll go over well. Why is it's?
Is it not recording?
No, it's recording.
Oh, you're trying to pop the notes up again?
Fuck it.
You silly bitch.
Welcome back to the Jojitorium. Well, I think remember too. Whenever we found the German Shizer porn. Let's not lie to each other. You're in twerk classes over there. That's
yeah. That's all it is.
The fitness class.
Working on them TikTok videos you like so much.
Dead face.
Got right in front of you.
Welcome back to Jojitorium. You know who it is. It's Adam. It's Matt. We're decaying with the boys. And just so you know, we have a larger roster than WWE. Get on the bandwagon already. First Sip Brewbox is bringing you what you need to up your craft beer gear game into the next level. The dynamic duo over at First Sip have teamed up with the incredible folks at Cancer Bridges to tackle lung cancer awareness. A portion of the proceeds from their lung cancer awareness shirt goes to the stellar organization that brings more than 230 programs per month to people diagnosed with cancer and their loved ones. Head over to firstsipbrewbox.com to get your orders in now. And don't forget to check them out on all social media by searching out First Sip Brewbox. Just make sure you tell them the boys sent you. So, Adam, we're back up in this. It's our Thanksgiving episode.
Hey,
how are
buddy.
you?
I'm doing good. And to go back to First Sip Brewbox, not that it's the most important thing about what they're doing, but the logo for the shirts they're doing this month are
sick.
really cool. I'm definitely getting one.
I know it's not supposed to be metal. It's pretty fucking metal.
Pretty metal.
It's pretty metal. If you haven't seen these shirts, I don't even want to describe it to you, but you just go to firstsipbrewbox.com and check them out.
Check it out. Because you can either subscribe to the Brewbox or you can, just buy the shirt.
Yeah. And then also, too, there might still be some Bash Brew mashup.
There might be. There might be.
Yeah. I don't think there's any thick boy sizes, though. I think because I bought them all.
Those sell out quick.
Yeah.
'Cause we got a thick boy fan club.
We do have a thick boy fan club. It's that prime demographic of 45 years plus,
Exactly.
2XL and higher. They love us. So, like I said, we are gearing up for Turkey Day. This is our Thanksgiving episode. So when you're hearing this, it's already been
It's Thanksgiving Day week.
Thanksgiving Day
beginning.
week. Yeah, and we do sound great while you're cooking a turkey. Just so you know, if you want to listen to us,
Just give it a re-listen.
Yeah, put it on a different app though. Like, use your first app, then you open up another app and listen to us because I can't afford a turkey this year because you guys aren't listening enough.
You just got a game hen.
Yeah, that's all I could do. But I did stuff it.
Yeah.
With hopes and dreams.
I thought you were going to say with hot dogs.
Better idea. Because I can't eat hopes and dreams. I
Yeah.
can definitely eat hot dogs.
Hopes and dreams will cost you money. Hot dogs, not that much.
Hot dogs are way less expensive than hopes and dreams. So I know that I'm making food. We're hosting everybody at my house. So we have. It's terrible. We have 3 turkeys because we had one from. Yeah, I'm super rich. I have a turkey,
And you eat sprees.
and I eat because I actually stuff turkeys with sprees because the sugar content kind of crystallizes on top. Brown sugar trick. It's really good. But we had a turkey from. There was a sale at a local place. So we had one of those. Forgot about it. My wife goes and gets one. And I was like, oh, okay. Then my mom shows up the other day, and she's like, oh, I got you guys a turkey for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving. I was like, cool. So we have a 12, a 14, and an 18-pound turkey.
You just inceptionize them, stuff them, like the Russian nesting dolls.
And then it would be just 12, 13, 18.
No way you're drying that thing out.
And I was like, oh, man, I hope we have enough turkey leg. Trust me, we have enough turkey.
Everybody can have one.
Yeah. And then my mom's going to make this dope. It's so good, man. I love pigs in a blanket, like cabbage rolls.
Yes.
But she's going to make Lazy Man lasagna, but do it in the cabbage roll.
Cabbage.
Yeah,
nice.
so it's just going to be these nice layers. And she knows that, Papa can't have red meat, so she's making it with turkey meat.
Nice.
Yeah, so I can actually eat it and not feel sick. So it's going to be good. And then my wife always busts out these cool little, cheesy potatoes.
I do like cabbage with turkey.
It goes well.
It goes well.
Because you can, I like getting a big spoonful. I'm a mixer kind of guy, so I'll get one piece of something and then blah, blah, blah. But the best bite I have is when I make my mom's mashed potatoes the way she makes them. And then I'm actually getting hungry now thinking about it. And my turkey, the way I make it, because I'm a better cook than everybody. And then I get her, cabbage, whatever she's making, and I put it all together in one bite. Dude, fat guy heaven. I love it.
No, I'm hungry.
Yeah. Are you guys making anything crazy?
We're the exact opposite of you. We're going to my parents. It's going to be me, my wife, my aunt, and my mom and dad. So just 5 of us this year. We are only making a side. We got assigned a side of our choice and a dessert. So
tequila.
Lori's taking care of the side. I think I'm just going to do like seasoned roasted sweet potatoes because
Smart.
Love it. You know, just cubed up, season them similar to like how you'd season a turkey and roll with it.
You know, I used to do that too because I used to make the seasoned sweet potatoes. If you get a butternut squash and you kind of cube it the same way and throw them in there, you get like more volume and you get that like sweet flavor from
a little bit more sweetness off of that squash.
Yeah. Plus, if you want to go like super fat guy and get the marshmallow fluff, and you're putting it in.
I hate squash, but
Really?
I like the idea you have. It's just a personal.
Well, I think if you make so here's the thing: butternut squash by itself, not that great. Butternut squash when you doctor it up, delicious.
I have had it in like a medley with sweet potatoes before.
Yeah.
It is pretty good, like a fall vegetable thing I got at the grocery store.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that
was pretty good.
Panera has that really good squash soup.
I think they put Brussels sprouts in that too. The one I had, which I am a big fan of Brussels. Well, similar to cabbage with turkey, I do like Brussels sprouts on Thanksgiving, so I might do that too.
A good roasted Brussels sprout with some vinaigrette.
Like, almost burnt.
Yes.
Like actually a little bit burnt is how I like it.
Some like pecans and cranberries and then a little bit of vinaigrette in there.
Woohoo! I'm gonna have you come over and cook for me too.
I told you, man. I kill, man.
But yeah, we are not ready for any of it. We haven't went and bought anything. We need just like general groceries in the house, let alone our Thanksgiving stuff. But thankfully, and we just learned this week that where we were going, so we are not making the full Monty, so we don't have that much to pick up anyway.
I always get really jealous of the stuff that your wife makes for you in general.
Yeah,
I think
she's a
phenomenal cook.
She's like, "What do you want for dessert?" I was like, "I know you made a lot of them lately, but can we have pumpkin roll still?" Because it's just like it's the only pumpkin dessert I like. Like I don't like pumpkin pie. Not a big fan of even like pumpkin cake, but I love a good pumpkin roll.
Yes, my mom is actually she found out at the beginning of this year that she's type 1 diabetic. So she's been checking her sugars and everything. She's like, I'm going to be at your house. I'm going to be staying the night. I'm going to cheat on my diet, and I'm going to make a pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh.
And
I like 2 pumpkin cakes. I do like pumpkin cheesecake too.
And she's like, I'm going to cut a piece the size of your head. And I was like, good insult. And she's like, make me one of your fancy cups of coffee. I'm going to eat this thing, and then I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, I pretty much assume you're going to go into a diabetic coma.
Perfect, yeah.
Which is fine.
I mean, if there's a day to cheat on your diet, it's Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And especially when you're around everybody else, I can hit you with the insulin shot if you really do pass out.
And or your birthday.
Yes, very much so. So do you guys so it's only the 5 of you, and it's a mass mob at my house now because it's going to be all of my wife's family and then my family.
Right.
Do you guys have any traditions that you guys follow with your parents?
Not really. Not with Thanksgiving. Not really with any holiday. Like it's just kind of, aside we gather usually my mom's, except for last year, was weird with COVID, so we all ate separately and zoomed in to see each other. But no, typically just at my mom's house. Even when I didn't live in Pittsburgh, I don't think I missed one. I almost missed one because of a snowstorm, but I don't think I missed any turkey days. But no, that's about it. We have a traditional place, setting, and time, and the typical invite list, which is just getting smaller as people. Yeah. Well, some people still aren't comfortable with COVID, and some people moved away. So yeah, it's kind of small this year, bare bones, but it should be nice.
Yeah. And then the one thing I do miss that we did one time, me and you, if you remember, we had Friendsgiving at my house.
I do remember that.
And that was such a good day.
It was a blast.
We packed my house full of people.
Because I don't think I ate, or I don't think I had to make anything. I think I just ate my face off.
Yeah, I just do. It was the first year we hosted Thanksgiving at our house, which is now our tradition. So we took Thanksgiving, the mantle over from my wife's parents and my mom, because my mom we'd do 2 Thanksgivings. We would do one with her parents in the morning, and then we'd go down to my mom's house. So now it's just everyone comes to our house. We took it over. And I think everyone's happy, because I think our parents are just getting to that age where they just don't want to cook that big of a meal anymore. And I actually really enjoy cooking for Thanksgiving. It's easy. It's so easy. Everything's really big. You put it in the oven and you just walk away and drink.
Nice.
And that's all I do.
Yeah, and then I think even with just the 5 of us, usually through the week I invite any stray cats I know, single guys that don't have family in the area or ladies to come and join us. And then we always invite her parents, as well, but they usually work on Thanksgiving. So they're both in the service industry and don't get holidays. So we'll sometimes go to her parents for dessert if they're available or
So I have one standing invitation to my house, and he knows it. His name's Joseph Tokish. We lovingly called him Peter for all these years, and he knows that. We love him, and he's always welcome at our house. That's our one stray cat. But also, too, like, I've made this known on multiple occasions, especially the job that I'm in. We get a lot of transplants from other states. I always say, if you can't get home for the holidays, there's always a place at my table. And that goes to all my family and friends. Like, if you're having a hard time and you need somewhere to go for the holidays, I always have way too much food, and you're always welcome in my house. And that goes for anyone listening, too. If you're lonely on the holidays and you need someone to hang out with, we are, you can come on over and eat some of my turkey. I warn you, though.
There's hardly any.
Once you eat my turkey, there's no going back.
But there's I mean, it used to be more of a thing when I lived in DC. It was more of a transient area and job than what I'm doing now. So I'd always offer. I think Raphael almost came with me one time, just to my family's house.
That would have been a blast.
But he found somewhere to go. So.
As he would. I feel like he's like a suave, like, he's like a 007 kind of guy. He's like, oh no, I go here for.
Well, our one coworker, like her whole family was like in the vicinity of that area, and she would have all the like solo dudes over to her house because like family already coming. So
that's always.
I think he ended up going there.
Good for him, man. That's got to be a blast. Like if you were alone and all of a sudden you have like 30 people around you and everyone's really loving and having a good time. It's got to be a great time. So I think we can confidently say this too, though, Adam. I think Christmas may have officially killed Thanksgiving this year.
Not for me. I don't even know what Christmas is.
Dude, there's something like...
I'm not buying anything. Anything.
I'm buying you something. I can't wait.
I'm not buying you shit.
You would say that every year. Then every year, you and Lori get me something incredible.
I'll get you a handwritten gift certificate to have me on the podcast for one more year.
Oh, God. What's the return policy on that?
No returns.
No returns.
All sales final.
We have your money. Christmas killed Thanksgiving. Like even I watch the Holiday Baking Championship with my wife all the time, and they made one Thanksgiving Day thing like, oh, it's fall, and then everything that since then has been Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. It's like, damn you, Duff! Can you just make one fucking orange and yellow cake?
I might not even get into Christmas at all this year. Usually, like 2 weeks before, I'll start like getting into the spirit. I don't know. My spirit's pretty dead this year.
Well, it's hard because I think we've been getting our heads kicked in for 2 years with COVID. It's kind of hard to get into a festive mood, but I promise you, I'm gonna get you. I got a real gift for you, and then I have what do they call it? A white elephant? Is that what it's called?
Well, no, white elephant's like Secret Santa.
Yeah, but it's like a funny gift though.
Oh, it's just a gag gift.
Yeah,
that's what I would call it.
I got something for you, and I can't wait.
I didn't get you shit yet.
You don't. Honestly, I tell her you don't have to. I'm just letting you know. I'm getting you something. You're really going to like it. And then I'm going to get you a white elephant.
Get you a really sweet iPod.
Yeah, I need
Preloaded with all your favorite songs.
U2's greatest hits.
I'll get you the emo version of an iPod. It dies after 30 minutes.
Does it self-destruct?
Yeah.
While playing Fallout Boy.
It's going down.
In an earlier round? So, we are in Pittsburgh, and the cool thing about what we're doing here in the great city of Pittsburgh, and I'm sitting across from one of the great brewers of Pittsburgh, we actually got ranked according to, what the hell's the name of this place? Move.org, for people who are looking for places to, uproot and go to. We've been ranked as a number 10 beer city according to move.org.
I think I saw that list.
Yeah. We have 26
I saw a list
breweries.
where we were around 10 and it was beer related, so I might be on this one.
So we actually have 26 active breweries at the time of this article, and that averages out to 8.69 breweries per 100,000 residents.
I think that number's even low. I mean, that's maybe they're going in the city limits.
That's possible.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting to the suburbs,
I would say in Allegheny County, there's probably more than 26 now.
Oh, easy, man. Yeah. Like, I was out doing my job today. I think I passed 4, and I was like on my way to Butler.
And then if you out in the outskirts.
I
was in Export yesterday. There's 3 there.
Yeah, right in a row. Dude, nothing beats that little run now where you have Old Thunder, and you're like heading up that way, and you can hit like 4 great breweries starting at Old Thunder and work your way up.
Old Thunder's a great starting point because you can go north and hit everything north, or you can go like dip through into Verona and hit a bunch going that way.
Nice.
Like cross the bridge.
Verona's sick now. That one like main drag in Verona, like Oakmont kind of.
Yeah.
Great little spot, dude. Great restaurants down there too. So, but there are other some walls in comparison. Las Vegas, who you think Las Vegas, Laredo, Texas, Newark, New Jersey, Hialeah, Florida, Arlington, Texas. They have 5 or less identifiable breweries in their cities, despite having a high population density.
So we gotta move.
Yeah, we got to take over one of these places. I think Las Vegas. Could you imagine having like a good brewery in Las Vegas?
I could do Vegas, or I don't know a lot about Laredo, Texas. I think either Texas location I could get down with.
I would like to do Arlington before Laredo.
Probably.
Yeah.
I've at least heard of Arlington, and I think drove through it.
I think there's a lot of comedy clubs in Arlington now too. Yeah, so I'd like to go there. So we're kind of steering people towards. So, do you have a favorite?
You know the bad thing about probably both of those states. I know Texas.
Yes.
There's no basements.
Nope.
And I like to hang in a basement.
I do too. As we record in a basement. We have the speakeasy in the basement, and then one of my favorite pubs we ever remember. Where was that down in Virginia? We went into a Hobbit hole place. Man, that was a 14 something.
I think it was the Brickskeller.
That's it. Yeah. Man, that was a cool joint. Yeah. Speaking of hanging out in basements, I digress. We're talking about some great breweries. Do you have a favorite brewery spot to go to during the holiday season?
No. I kind of drink around the house. I do have a favorite beer local. Well, kind of locally. It's kind of a haul from here.
What's that?
Butler Brew Works makes one called Poultrygeist.
Yeah.
Every year for Thanksgiving.
Really good.
So I'm going Thanksgiving specific. Christmas, I'll have to think about it. Because I don't really like Christmas beers, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But I'm sure there's somebody local that does. But for Thanksgiving, Poultrygeist from Butler Brew Works. I know they did it last year. It was the first year I had it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It tastes like cranberry sauce and Thanksgiving spices in a can. So if I can track some down, we might be able to do some.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Soon, yeah. Oh, yeah, it's a beer.
I don't have any for today, but I'll try to track some down for next week.
I think for me, my homie over at Connie Creek, he puts on a really good brown ale around this time of year, and it's a straightforward brown ale, no adjuncts, just amber, caramel, warm, 5%. That's all you need, and it's nice. Lee does a good job with that one, and then oh gosh.
That's kind of a brown ale is a good style for just the seasoning and spices that are used in Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Kind of sprinkle in there too. And then
Brown
Cellarworks does that too.
Really neutral.
Yeah, Cellarworks, their stout game, and it around the holiday season, amazing.
I'm heading up there in the next couple weeks.
Yes, Cellarworks is the shit for stouts. If you like them thick and you like them roasty or even adjuncty, that's the place to go.
I owe him some beers, so I'm definitely making it up there in the next week.
He's such a nice guy too. Such a nice guy. All right, so we're speaking of beers here, and Adam, we are in round 1, and we've been talking for a long time, and I'm thirsty. So talk to me about the first beer we have here for round 1.
Half of mine's gone already.
Likewise.
So we have.
I'm not thirsty. I'm lying. It's show business, people.
We have one from Bash Brew today. We're self-promoting because this is a beer we do for a local business at least once a year. We'll try to get it out there more than once. But we do it in collaboration with the Dark Roots Barber Shop up in Mount Oliver or Allentown. I think he's technically in the Allentown.
Yeah.
Our buddy Ricky. So I got this ready last week. Haven't gotten it to him yet. You should see it in his barber shop probably the first week of December. We're having some supply chain issues on getting labels. So once the labels are in, he'll have a supply at his place. But it is just a straight up oatmeal stout coming in at 6% this year. Turned down the roast a little bit from last year because it was a little bit too powerful punch in the tongue there. So I laid it back a little bit, kind of into Irish dry territory, but it's still an oatmeal stout. There's still a little bit of sweetness. I'm really happy with it though.
Yeah, I can say just this, and I've told you this before. This is one of my favorite stouts to get because it's always been very even. Even when you said the roast was too much last year, I actually really enjoyed that because I love roast and I love coffee. So like when I get those notes to come through, this one's really nice because it gets a little chocolatey now. Yeah. So the roast has kind of faded back. It's still present, but not overpowering, and it lets the chocolate notes kind of shine through a little better. And the nose on it's really good. I think once again, Adam, and you cranked the ABV on it, which also makes me happy.
Not on purpose. We just did a really good brew day.
Really good efficiency. That's because Adam is a skilled brewer. So if you want this beer, and maybe we have some here, make sure you're following Adam on all social media at Bash_Brew, and don't forget to follow our friend Ricky Dennis. That's right. Yeah, I'm saying his last Ricky Dennis. I say Dennis, and I think of First at Brew Box,
especially since they're on Mount Oliver and he's in Allentown. They're real close to each other.
Friends now. Yeah. We brought them together. Yeah. We are bridging businesses.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit on down here, and we'll go over it again at the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been I've been giving a lot of it away just for people for Thanksgiving this week, and I've been seeing a lot of people.
Loved it.
I've been seeing a lot of people this week before I pretty much lock myself down next week when everybody's traveling around.
Yes, and then that's when we really get into stout season.
Yes.
You got a full array. But before we start talking more about that, we have a gigantic AEW card to break down, Adam. Full Gear was incredible. There are a lot of great matches here, except, and I wrote a little note for myself, action-packed from beginning to end, kinda, I fell asleep once. But I'm also an old man. I have old man jeans, and I fall asleep in them sometimes. So, but I digress. There's a big card, lots of great spots here, lots of great feuds. Some came to an end, some kind of got stoked up in the flames. So let's start off with the buy-in, because AEW does a great job with their buy-ins. So we had Hikaru Shida with Thunder Rosa taking on Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. Of course, Nyla Rose is always with Vicky Guerrero because you can hear her a day before the match starts screaming. This is a tag team match. This is more for Thunder Rosa in this whole thing, but it was a tag team match, and it went over 12 minutes, which is a great amount of time for a tag team match of this ilk and a good buy-in. I think in this right here, there were two storylines that made a lot of sense. It's Thunder Rosa and Nyla Rose kind of button heads, because that's going to be a huge showdown for them in the TBS title scene. But also, on the side, Hikaru Shida kept having to lock eyes with Serena Deeb, because she was on the sidelines there. And Serena Deeb has gone heel.
Right.
She's dressing like a heel. She's looking like a heel. You know, man, I forgot that. You remember she was in that the stable in WWE with Punk.
With Punk, yeah, she shaved her head.
Yeah. Looks way better with hair, man. That shaved. I didn't realize it was her. Because,
it was her, Gallows, and oh darn it, the guy that was teamed with Johnny Nitro at the time, was his name?
Oh god, forgettable.
Yeah, the other guy in Eminem.
Yeah, forgettable. But long story short, on this one, Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa defeated Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose by, I think it was pinfall. Yeah, it's pinfall.
I believe so. Yeah.
The standout star in this one for me is Thunder Rosa. Her offense is fantastic. I really feel that her signing to AEW was a smart choice, because it's a real injection into not only their title scene, but it's a huge injection to their mid-card scene too, because she can wrestle down and she can wrestle up.
Plus, they're still allowing her to do some indie dates, so she's not completely exclusive to AEW, but
true,
she's definitely getting pushed there now. And I think it was just a really good feature with all of these women. At the time, we're still in the TBS title picture for their bracket, for their tournament going on now. Since Shida has been eliminated, but the other three women are still in it until you're listening to this Friday night. I know there's I think Thunder Rosa is going against Hayter for the spot in the
undoubtedly too. Thunder Rosa is going to go over in that.
I would think so.
You would think, yeah. Not to say Jamie Hayter can't be built off of, but Thunder Rosa has the heat. You need to really build off of her. I think the cool thing here, too, that I really enjoyed was how well Hayter played with Nyla Rose in this match. They seemed to gel pretty well. Jamie Hayter is a good heel, and Nyla Rose does play the heel card pretty well herself.
Yeah.
So
she's not the best in ring, but she plays a heel well.
When she does heel shit, that's her, like when she's like choking someone in the corner or like doing like eye rakes and stuff on the side. Like she really sells that really well, so that's good. So we move into the main card here, where AEW has had this idea, and for me, I'm hooked on it. Just putting out an absolute banger of a match for the first match of the card. So we saw MJF taking on Darby Allin in a singles match, and they gave them over 20 minutes for the first match. That doesn't really usually happen. Usually your first match is a heater. It's like 5 to 10 minutes.
Well, it's kind of the old WCW formula, because the WCW would throw the cruiserweights out there first.
That's true.
Just to get the crowd pumped and like excited for the rest of the card.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what MJF's not your super high flyer, but he's quick. Like,
Yeah.
he can be in a fast-paced match.
And that's what you had here, too. Darby Allin, of course, the whole idea was Darby Allin can't really wrestle. He's just a spots kind of guy, what MJF was kind of going for, trying to get in Darby Allin's head. And he said, I could defeat Darby Allin with a headlock takedown. And then, they had great back and forth here. There were some pinning combinations that I wasn't ready to see Darby Allin do it. I knew that he had the amateur wrestling acumen, but he really put on display here because MJF, despite the fact that he's like a prick of a heel, he's a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah, so these two click very well. I wish this wasn't the end of what they're doing, but because after seeing this match, I would love to see it happen again for higher stakes. If there was something like a title eliminator tournament, but we just had one. There was something like that, something at stake for these two. Maybe down the road.
Yeah, I think down the road you'll see them together again. I did agree with you until Wednesday night Dynamite, where it looks like it's MJF and CM Punk now, which is what I've wanted since Punk came back.
Yes.
So I'm actually not that sad that MJF's moving on. I don't know what Darby doesn't look like he's going to be doing much. Yeah. They don't have him set for anything yet, but they'll get him into a good program.
And I think so too, because and also too they preserved Darby Allin because he lost because MJF did heel shit.
Right.
Hit
him with the ring.
Hit him with the ring, knocked him out. Darby Allin sells everything. Like, I can't believe he's got crumble physics for days. Yeah, does a great job here. MJF, of course, defeats Darby Allin by pinfall in a singles match that really vied for match of the night. Off the rip.
Could have been up there. I don't think it's going to be mine. We'll have to see.
Nope.
My only problem with it was a very good match. I echo everything you said. My only problem with it is it went a little long for the first match.
That's true.
Like, you had the crowd at that high level for so long, and I think by the time they went to the finish, it was just like, if they just cut like 5 minutes off of it, maybe it would have been.
I think the outside stuff, when they went to the outside for a while.
Yeah, you could have probably just cut that.
Got rid of that, yeah. That felt a little cheap.
Because we were going to get enough of that later on in the night.
Yes. So we move on to a great tag team match here. The Lucha Brothers are taking on FTR, and of course, Tully Blanchard is always on the side of FTR for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. And again, AEW gives their stars time to shine. This came in over 18 minutes. Of course, we saw here that FTR a few weeks prior to this took the AAA titles away from the Lucha Brothers. Basically saying like we're the best lucha tag team on the planet, and they even mock them even further by having the Mexican flag knee pad on the left and the American flag on the right. FTR quietly are some of the best heels in AEW. Just the way they talk, act, they buy their own stuff. I almost feel like they could go in the back and fart into glasses and smell their own farts like a sommelier.
Which is why I like them teamed up in a stable with MJF, because he's very much the same way.
Oh, very much so. Like that was a great chance to put them all together. And of course, divert for a quick second. It's building up to Wardlow turning on MJF, which is going to be fun. That's going to be a showdown.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
I really enjoy that. So, of course, when you have anything with the Lucha Brothers in it, you're going to have a lot of high flying in here. And Rey Fenix delivered in spades. This guy does not stop touching clouds when he is running around the ring. All the vintage Rey Fenix stuff, walking the ropes, big kicks off the apron, moonsault, and then actually hurting one of the members of FTR with a stunt.
Yeah, he hurt Dax Harwood, which is the one that looks like Stone Cold Steve Bussin.
Bust it. Yes. What was it? A moonsault and hit him in the head.
Yeah.
So, and then that effectively took Dax out of the match, which is why this match only went 18 minutes, because I think it was supposed to go even further, and they were supposed to have more of a back and forth about how the wrong guy got pinned at the end, because they tried to put on the old, I don't know what they were calling
the mask. Darn it.
Yeah. This green mask with the green
Coronadors or something. I don't know. It was something weird.
Something dumb that they just to mock the Lucha Brothers. Yeah. They tried to put the masks on, and of course, how can you miss Cash Wheeler's gigantic tattoo on his back, big compass,
and his mullet sticking out.
Yeah, I digress. The wrong man got pinned, which then, of course, this is going to be not the last match you see between these two. I think it's going to escalate. There's going to be some issues here, but
I'm fine with that.
Rey Fenix has a lot of heat in the back because of this.
I guess he not only injured him, but then didn't check on him. So Hartwood was in there with a concussion for quite a bit of time.
Yes.
I thought, again, this one went a little long. The spot right before they went to the mask thing is where I think it should have ended, where Penta had one of FTR, I'm not sure who, in the package pile driver.
Yeah.
Phoenix went to the top, like Moria sprung off of the dude in the package and hit a crossbody on the other member of
That was
FTR.
sick.
And Penta hit the pile driver, and it was a near fall of 2. I think if they ended it there, I guess they tried to drag it into
Make it a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Gotta make it a little sloppy. Also, Alex Abrahantes, thank you, buddy, for getting involved here. Don't take shit from Tully Blanchard.
Yeah.
You don't have to. Penta says, I'm gonna whoop your old ass. I can't wait to see what these two do next. But it's like, I feel like every time the Lucha Brothers and FTR get together, someone gets hurt. So can we get through one match with
Usually
you guys?
on the FTR side.
Yeah. Can you old shits just keep it together and not get injured? Cut open like a gutted fish. So we move on to a match that I don't think I had a whole lot of like for. I almost did it. Bryan Danielson taking on Miro.
Got it.
I did. I wrote it down because I wrote it for myself.
Since you're rocking a similar hairstyle to him.
I am, and I'm also bordering up to being a vegetarian. It's the AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament Final. So the winner of this match gets a future AEW World Championship match against, you know, if you haven't seen it, we'll tell you who the winner is at the very end, but it's some cowboy shit. So this is quite a matchup because Bryan Danielson has the mat technicality going against Miro, who has sheer power and agility. It was quite a David and Goliath kind of situation here, but it was kind of cool because Danielson didn't appear to have any fear of Miro, which pissed Miro off throughout the match. And then you see Miro trying to like overpower the American Dragon, and it just didn't work as well as he wouldn't tap out to the game over. He wouldn't succumb to like head kicks, and he actually started the yes chant at one point, which Vince McMahon's like losing his mind about. He's like, please don't do that to me. And Brian's like, So it was incredible. The finish to me was the thing that made this match suck. It looked like a DDT off the mid turnbuckle and then rolled into some kind of a half-ass submission where Miro appeared to be quote-unquote knocked out.
It was like a half-ass guillotine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is the best Miro's ever been in any company. Mm-hmm. And I love the match. Again, broken record time. It was a little long.
Yeah.
And the finish was sloppy.
But
other than that, I thought it was great. Yeah, over 20 for
that's tough.
A singles hard-hitting match.
Yeah. They should have been a 10-minute match.
Yes.
Stiff. And then I like the ending how it should have been, but I think Miro sold the knockout so hard that it became sloppy.
Hard. Well, I think even the landing of the DDT, I think it was just mistimed.
Yeah.
Like he kind of missed the DDT,
right.
And then it was sloppy getting him into the submission hold. Yeah, it was kind of a letdown, but it happens.
I really wanted to see Danielson put Miro in the cattle mutilation. I wanted to see it.
I don't know if he can. That dude's got some.
That's why I want to see it.
Thick back.
Like, oh, dude, he's like, you look at him when he's coming down the ring, like, oh, he's kind of big, and then you see him stand next to Danielson, who's not like a super small guy. He just like eclipses him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jim Ross was like, yeah, Miro's 230 pounds. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm 300 pounds, dude. Thick as fuck. So anyway, the American Dragon is going to get his world title shot at some time down the road here, which should be a fantastic match because we'll talk about that in a little bit. So we move on to a Falls Count Anywhere match that I actually really enjoyed. I know that's to the chagrin of Adam, but Christian Cage and Jurassic Express with Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus took on the Super Click as Adam Cole and the Young Bucks with Brandon Cutler and Michael Nakazawa as sidecards. This match went way too long.
Yes, it did.
Jesus. 22 minutes.
Probably the least of my problems with it.
This is the least of your problems?
That it went long.
I thought this match was... Here's the first thing. First things first. You got a lot of big personalities in this match, and it's hard to wrangle them all together.
Right.
I thought that they did a good job
Making
at
my
one
point
point.
for me.
I know. At one point in the match, I thought they did a really good job of like separating out some of the storylines where Christian Cage was engaging with, the Young Bucks. And I really want to see more of Jungle Boy and Adam Cole. I want to see more of them in singles matches. I think they click very well together. But if I can, The whole match at times could feel disjointed, and it was long, and there's some spots were unnecessary.
I think it needed more elevator spots because that was necessary.
Just a couple.
Jeez,
just 2 more. Just 2 more. Got 2 more?
No.
1 more.
One more because they went up. They could go down.
They go
there, that's it.
Hey, up and they go down.
I'd rather not have one at all.
I think the spot with
Christian had to jump off high things.
Yeah,
so.
of course he did. I think the spot with Luchasaurus doing the shooting star press off of the ramp or the stage was one of the coolest spots of the match. And I know you don't like him, and it's okay. I don't really like him that much either.
I was chanting from the seat you're sitting in right now, neck yourself. Neck yourself.
Oh, my God. He's a human being, man.
No, he's a dinosaur.
All right, Jim Cornette. But anyway, I thought that was a cool spot. I think that it finally clicked for Jurassic Express that Jungle Boy is the star. You don't need to try to do this whole like he's a part of a team thing. He should be elevated by his teammates. And I think Luchasaurus has finally clicked into the idea of like, I'm supposed to be a big, strong dude. And that's why I'm going to do big, strong dude stuff.
I'm going to do a shooting star press.
But you're supposed to do a couple things. And that shooting star press was good. You can't deny that was a good shooting star press.
So I think this match was unneeded. You didn't need Lucha Boris on the pay-per-view at all. I think you could add Christian Cage or Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole in a match and put the Young Bucks somewhere else in a match with a tag team that's being misused in a later match that we'll talk about.
Okay.
I think it was a stupid match. There was no heat for me for this match. I didn't want to see it other than seeing some participants. But I think it was just sloppy, and I don't know.
I agree with the sloppy. It was definitely sloppy. And I also... The hard part for me is when the heels constantly have so much help, it gets annoying every time. Brandon Cutler is actually a decent wrestler. Put him back on Dark. Why is he like doing this NBA mask garbage? Michael Nakazawa is actually not a bad comedic relief wrestler. Why is he not on Elevation or Dark with some of the younger talent?
Or on the buy-in or whatever they call it.
Something like that. I mean, Nakazawa is actually a very good technical wrestler. I know he does the whole Turkish oil thing, but like it's comedic relief. I do like it. I want to see those guys kind of separate out, and maybe that's coming down the road because there is some tension now.
And then the one thing that looked like it could have saved this match, speaking of tension, was at the end where Jungle Boy Concertos, I forget which Jackson, or was it Adam? No, it was one of the Jacksons.
I think it was Nick.
Instead of doing that, I wanted him to turn on Christian and hit him with the chair.
That would have been cool.
And that would have saved the whole freaking match for me. But nope, the faces brutally injure the heels to get the win, and it's just like, I know it's falls count anywhere, but it just stunk.
Now that you say it, dude, it would have been really cool if he would have just turned and blasted Christian Cage in the face, and then you could have set up Jungle Boy and Christian Cage.
And then Lucha Boris comes up, what are you doing? And you throw him off the stage, and he lands on his fucking head like Lance Archer.
Jesus Christ. Moving on to the next match.
Extinct. Extinction.
We call this one the Meteor Strike. So we're moving on to a tag team match this is the match that I felt didn't need to happen.
This one also didn't need to happen, I agree.
Cody Rhodes in Pac with Arn Anderson taking on Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo with Jose the Assistant. It's a tag team match that I read somewhere that it was supposed to be a fatal four-way.
Like that idea better.
Which would have been way better.
That idea better.
Yeah, I never want to see Cody Rhodes and Pac ever be in a team together ever again.
Nope. I don't want to see either of them in a tag team ever again.
Yeah, they are not a tag team. They're not tag team.
None of these
wrestlers.
four men are. None of them.
None of them are. None of them. And I don't like that Rhodes and Pac went over on Black and El Idolo. I don't like it. I feel that can we finally stop this whole Cody Rhodes is never going to go heel shit?
I mean, I'm even fine with that, but like, I'm not as big a Cody hater as a lot of people are. But this isn't doing him any favors. This match was literally feels like it was put in there so he had a match on the show. Yeah. And it's really freaking annoying, especially when two of my favorite wrestlers were squeezed in it with him.
Yeah.
And I thought they could be used better somewhere else, which is Pac and Malachi Black.
I thought it was Arn Anderson and Jose the Assistant.
They could go one-on-one. I want to see that on Elevation.
I'd be yeah. Be better than what the hell the Big Slow's doing on there. But
Jose the Assistant distracts him with a Reuben sandwich.
Ooh, you can distract me with the Reuben sandwich all day. I think what it is now. I was reading a Reddit thread where this guy had a theory on Cody Rhodes, like he's a heel that thinks he's a babyface but doesn't realize he's actually a heel, and that's why this had to feel like it was jammed.
I read that in an article somewhere too, and I don't think he's that self-aware. I think it's the fans building that to make sense of it because he's wearing the Homelander outfit, which is season 1 of The Boys. He was a heel that was acting like a face the whole time, convinced himself he was a face in superhero lore.
Yeah.
But I think that's just the fans giving him an excuse. I think he's just a fucking obnoxious prick. I think he's that self-indulgent, that narcissistic.
Really?
That he thinks he's the face's face. And I'll go back to the freaking... And it all started... I don't think it all started, but the cherry on top was when he did that weird promo...
With the burn barrel?
No, before that. When he was having his kid and he came out very civil rights-ish. It was when he was going against Ogogo. It was right before that. So going into the Ogogo match, I think people were starting to turn on him. Because he came in like, I'm here in Savannah, Georgia, and I'm
not
new,
necessary.
Cody. Yeah, and it's not new. It's a weird place to
And then you went and buried a mixed race individual.
Boxer from England. Yes, that's a good point, Matt.
It's like, I'm having a mixed child, and I'm also going to bury this person of color. And I think he's taken so many missteps with this. He should do the thing that everyone, just for once, it's okay to AEW, do the thing that everybody wants. Go heel. Just go heel.
Well, or you just flip it and reverse it. Like when he was doing those promos against Chris Jericho going for that title, he was one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
And then I think that's what he was trying to do against the Go-Go, but there were 2 problems where, 1, it was weird. 2, nobody gave that much of a shit about a Go-Go for you need to cut an impassioned promo. You just look like a narcissistic cornball. Like,
yeah. He definitely met that standard.
Yeah.
For sure, man. I don't know, man.
That's all I have to say about that one.
Yeah.
I agree. The heels should have won. I'm glad if the faces won, at least Pac got the pin.
That's true.
That's all I can really say.
That black arrow he does, man.
Sick.
I love it, man.
Sick.
He's so athletic. So moving on to the AEW Women's World Championship that I had low expectations for, let me just say, and they were far exceeded. Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, with Rebel and Jamie Hayter, who had a hell of a match on the buy-in, defeated Ty Conte by pinfall in 15 minutes and 24 seconds. I have to say this before I go into anything else. Ty Conte needs more time on television. She's good.
She needs a bit more of a character.
Yes.
Yes. For the fans to really get behind her. She unbelievably exceeded my expectations in the ring on this match.
Absolutely.
She was great. She had a great look with the little bit of the makeup on the face, with the Brazilian flag colors. It was cool looking. She looked like a warrior.
Actually, I was going to say she looks like Brazilian Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance.
Well, no. She was like 250 pounds, maybe.
He's a big man.
He's a big man. He's busted out of this bulletproof vest he used to wear all the time. And he's cousins with Joe Rogan. Anyway, yeah, but she was great. Looked like a freaking Amazon. To me, she looked like an Amazonian warrior. With her hair braided back and the paint over the eyes. And Britt Baker was great as always. And I think it was just a really good, solid, a very technical women's match.
Yeah, it really was. I was going to say that too. I felt like they didn't do a lot of as FTR likes to call it, flippy shit.
Yeah.
I felt like it was strike heavy, and they did a lot of technical grappling.
And what I see in women's matches that I don't know why it's in women's matches so much, because it is in some men's matches, but they do like that half-second pause too long when they're setting up for the next spot.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of that in this match. And there wasn't a lot in the buy-in women's match either. Mm-hmm. They were both very good. You're right.
Yeah, he's that dude, he was a hell of a wrestler, very underappreciated, but man, is he a coach.
So underrated.
Yeah. So anyway, Britt Baker defeats Ty Conte by pinfall, and I don't think this is the last time we're going to see Ty Conte around the women's championship.
It's going to be Jade.
Jade Cargill. Yeah, I think so too. Because I think you can build a stellar mid-card women's on
I forget
Jade
the other
Cargill.
face that's still in that. I know Red Velvet is, but she's about to lose. But
Yeah,
there's got to be another face in there somewhere.
It's hard for me to remember.
But I can't remember.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Well, I think Hikaru Shida going down, that was a huge blow to that too. But that's they're finally starting to do storylines for the women's side. Like she doesn't need to win. She's going to go Serena Deeb.
Yeah, she's going to go Serena Deeb in an awesome program that's not for a belt. Yeah. Like, oh, look at that. Some story.
We can actually do
not
this?
for a belt in the
No
women's
way.
division, which is something WWE never does.
They just cut their
and
women.
AEW is pretty bad about it until
recently.
the last 2 pay-per-views.
Well, I think too, like their women's division. If we get on a little tangent here, I think their women's division has only strengthened.
Yeah.
In these past 2 pay-per-views. If you really look at what everyone's doing, Ty Conte is the pinnacle of this, because if you really see how she operated in this match compared to her last like high stakes match, like leaps and bounds better in this match than she was in the last one.
Totally agree.
Yeah. So we move on to a match that was CM Punk taking on Eddie Kingston in a singles match that I felt was appropriate, 11 minutes long, because we knew it wasn't going to be a tech fest. It was going to be a strike fest. The heat between these two was generated very quickly, and then everyone dug up the backstory about how CM Punk buried Eddie Kingston back in the indie scene, which there's always been all these rumors that CM Punk has done that to a lot of people. And Eddie Kingston actually carried some real heat and hate for CM Punk and brought that to this match. You could tell these two were like, they must have been in the back together saying like, you can really hit me.
Yeah. The promos leading up to this were phenomenal. And folks, this is a fucking wrestling match. This is what a wrestling match is supposed to be. They used real life heat came in with like a blood feud coming, and Eddie strikes him as soon as he can, and they don't stop. They didn't stop for a headlock. They didn't, right off the bat. They didn't do some technical mat wrestling. They just fucking hit each other. They fucking fought.
It was good.
This is a heel and a face, which it was technically like 2 crowd favorites coming in.
Yeah.
But the crowd quickly picked up, and CM Punk gave him a little push to make Kingston the babyface.
Yes.
Not that Punk came out
No.
a heel now, but just in this match, he was the heel.
And because they can play in matches. Yeah. It doesn't have to be like how everyone leads up to it. Eddie Kingston gets the favorites. He gets the cheers. CM Punk started getting some boos. And then when we go to the next town, CM Punk comes out and he's going to start wrestling MJF. He got cheers for refusing a handshake from MJF.
Right. And you take this with a grain of salt. For a Stone Cold Steve Austin-like push, where he's the man's man, he's the everyman's man, he's going to not be speaking appropriately, he's going to use foul language, but every dude in their late 20s, 30s, 40s is going to push for that man.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's saying what we all want to fucking say.
Yeah.
It very much echoes Stone Cold Steve Austin in the late 90s.
Very much
and
so.
It's killer. And again, too much flippy shit, too much boring shit. Fuck you, Luchasaurus. That match sucked ass. This is how a match is supposed to go.
But let's be honest here. When we look at CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, you're looking at 2 seasoned professionals that really know how to build that.
Yeah, you could have did the same thing. You don't give a fuck about every aspect of that previous 6-man match. You put Adam Cole in there with Christian Cage.
Yeah,
you could have had 2
that would have been pretty dope.
Seasoned professionals that could have had the same match.
You're right.
And if you want to have Cole, I mean, I guess we saw it on free TV already, but him and Jungle Boy would have worked too, I think.
Yeah, it would have. But for higher stakes, I'd love to see what Eddie Kingston does next. I'm not quite sure where he's going to go.
I'm not sure where he's going to fall either. Looks like he's taking on, there's 3 guys that got released from NXT. I don't even know if they have a name.
The Hit Row?
No.
R.I.P.
Rounds ago.
Oh, sorry.
That tag team that was in
2.0.
NXT for 2.0,
yeah.
Them and
Daniel
Garcia. It looks like he's going against Garcia, I think, on Rampage this week. So.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I could get down with that. Kingston just like,
but yeah, he'll have to go. He'll get into it. I mean, he got put in the feud with Punk a week before the pay-per-view,
and it was hot.
Yeah, they had 3 shows to build it.
Yeah, and they did it.
It was hot. It was electric.
Yeah,
it's the thing I wanted to see the most on this card, and it didn't disappoint.
I agree. It was this match, the Minneapolis street fight that.
And another person I want to vent on.
Here's the thing with this Minneapolis street fight, Inner Circle, and then American Top Team with Men of the Year. Do not get people who are not professional wrestlers to come in and sell strikes.
And be 9th on the card of 10 matches. I mean, technically it is the piss break spot. But they also went 20 fucking minutes.
You need this match to be...
I had to pee twice during this match.
I fell asleep. And it's a shame, too, because...
But I agree. You don't bring in amateurs at this high level to sell strikes or get... I mean, in the build for this, they had Van Zant's boyfriend or husband or whatever elbow striking Jericho, I think, on the ramp, and was like literally 2 feet away from his head.
It's like drafting him.
Yeah.
Like fanning him off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close. And he was right in the camera. Like, it was awful.
I tell you who did a good job, though. Junior Dos Santos. I mean, because he has history.
He's been training.
I think he looked good.
He didn't look terrible.
No. And
Except he was real late on that lion salt interference.
Yep.
Super late.
And Andrei Arlovsky, I just like him. I like him.
I like him, too. Yeah. I liked him as an MMA fighter. Yeah. Dan Lambert had no business getting into that Mega Man blue jumpsuit and being out there at all. He sucked out loud.
Yeah, he did. Ethan Page looked great.
Yeah.
Scorpio
Sky. I mean, him and Scorpio Sky, I think, both did well.
I have some qualms with Scorpio Sky.
But it's funny, Matt, all the people you mentioned on that team isn't the guy I have a problem with.
Who do you have a problem with?
I have a problem with Chris Jericho because if he
Tell me about it.
Because if he would have retired when we all thought he was going to retire, before his guitar player came out and did the squibbly bibbly version of his entrance music, this match wouldn't have had to happen.
That's true.
You would have had Santana and Ortiz going against the Young Bucks, which would have been a better match for them to be in, and Sammy Guevara against a different challenger. You know, those guys all got sucked into this shitty match. Because Jericho wanted to do something with Dan Lambert, I imagine.
Yeah. This
doesn't make sense.
You know what it is to me? It reeks of early to mid 2000s WWE booking. Like, oh shit, our ticket sales suck, or the pay-per-view buys suck. Let's inject some star power, some celebrity power. You didn't need it.
Nobody that watches AEW is into those MMA fighters.
Not at all.
One, they're done. Like they're not active anymore.
No.
Which is why they could do this. I mean, it just makes no sense, and it didn't help anybody. It hurt everybody involved. Mm-hmm. It didn't help Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, who should be getting shot up the card. Didn't help Santana and Ortiz. Didn't help Guevara. And I don't care about Jericho or Hager. I don't. They both. Jericho was one of the best wrestlers ever. He's no longer got it, and Hager never was.
Yeah. He went over a little bit prior to AEW, but like the way they're using him, I think you're seeing the limitation of his character.
Yeah, that was a Vince McMahon push. Is why he was so over in WWE.
Big guy, blonde hair, But
big list.
Yeah, you're seeing the limitations of his character, especially with the speech impediment. But at this point, this feud needs to be done.
In that same promo where the Phantom Elbows came in, he cut a promo and he said a line to Dos Santos was like on the same level as "Sticks and stones can break my bones, but you'll never hurt me, man." And I'm like, that's your line. You had all week to think of this, and that's the line.
That's what you come up with. And that's why Tony Khan's like, hey, man, I'm bringing reeling the reins back in a little bit.
Give me a toaster strudel. It was like,
I like it with the fluff thing. This is done, and the only thing that happened after this to save one of them is when Sammy Guevara came out, because a guy I predicted so long ago to come to AEW, if you remember, quite a few episodes ago of our podcast, whenever we were looking for all of the free agents who they were like, oh, who's AEW going to sign for, was Christian Cage. I said, Jay Lethal's contract ran out. I was like, that'd be awesome to see Jay Lethal in AEW. I think he's a great talent. Comes out, debuts, a 20-year talent coming out saying, like, I'm all elite now. And Sammy Guevara comes out and cuts a quick promo accepting the TNT title championship match against Jay Lethal, which ended up being a banger of a match.
4 days later, and it was a great match.
Banger of a fucking match.
And Guevara went from this hardcore match to that.
Yep.
And I think that match went almost a half an hour.
Yeah, and he delivered. And so did Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal was skilled. And I know there's heat on Jay still from some stuff that happened on the Speak Out. Mm-hmm. So, of course, take what I say with a grain of salt. But I love Jay Lethal. I loved him in Impact. I really loved, or it was TNA. Ring of Honor, he was fantastic. Yep. So it's good to see him still get chances here. But
there were rumors this week, Matt. And I know we're getting to our main event here. Yeah. But there were rumors this week for Dynamite and it didn't come true.
I know.
That the Briscoes were in town and they didn't show up.
They were back there watching. Yeah,
so
they're watching.
Hopefully they were having a little bit of a meeting.
I think they are.
Because I would love to see them versus like Santana and Ortiz or the Bucks. Oh man, them and the Bucks would be sick too.
Yes. So we move on to the match that made Adam hard for weeks on end. Hangman Adam Page taking on Kenny the Cleaner Omega with Don Callis for the AEW World Championship.
See that entrance? That Hangman entrance?
So good.
Gave me the chills right off the bat.
It was sick, man. I tell you what, it's all about showmanship. And whenever you look at this thing and you see the character build, the long storytelling, the stress and the prestige and the anticipation, AEW killed this. Leading up to this match, I have never been so hungry for a championship match since I was a kid.
Right. And they
so good.
And this is what can happen when the wrestling company gives the audience what they want. WWE. When you don't swerve your audience every pay-per-view, you can. Yeah, it was incredible. I got to watch this with he was a Kenny Omega fan, but he was more of a not Adam Page fan down here. Oh. So it was really fun for me to watch this. Like I was really into it. So much so that I got so busy talking shit I had to go back and watch this match because I missed parts of it.
Yes, this match had everything you wanted in it, and I was afraid there'd be a lot of outside interference, especially from Don Callis, because when he interferes, I actually get mad because he does it in very smarmy ways, and he was wearing those shitty shoes, man. I was hoping he'd get jacked up.
His purple, what is that called when you jewel or something?
Oh, bedazzled.
Yeah.
He sat back there with that hot glue gun for hours. This match was great. Kenny Omega he can tech wrestle, he can strike, he can do whatever you need him to do, and of course Adam Page can counter. He does a great job of allowing Kenny Omega to get over. Kenny Omega was hitting offense like crazy, and they did a really cool thing that I really, really enjoyed. Adam Page hits the one-winged angel on Kenny Omega, and Omega kicks out. And then JR, of course, is like, and that's because, Kenny Omega is the only one that can hit it the right way. No one kicks out of the one-winged angel except for Kenny Omega. So you still protect the one-winged angel, because my idea was Adam Page is going to be the first one to kick out.
A lot of people thought that was going to happen.
Oh,
they didn't even need to go to that yet.
But it was great. The part, and I remember my whole body tensed up when the Young Bucks started coming down the ramp.
I had my biggest laugh of the night at that point because Tony Schiavone goes, and here comes the dipshits.
and he was right, because they're coming down the ramp, and I'm like, oh my God, man, if they swerve me and Paige loses because of some interference, I might not be able to watch this for a while. And then to see that really...
I was waiting for the Dark Order to come out.
I was too, yeah. But man, that moment when Hangman locked eyes with the Bucks and they both just nodded to him like, this is it. Go do it, man. Front flip. Boom.
Teasing dissension, and Kenny Omega on Wednesday said he didn't watch back the match yet, so he doesn't even know that happened.
Yeah.
And he effectively, after losing this match, and in real life, he has a shit ton of injuries. On Wednesday, he wrote himself off TV just saying... he has to go find himself.
Yeah. I got to take some time, go find myself. You guys hold it down over here. And Adam Cole's like, I got you, Cleaner. He's like, not you. Not you, dum-dum.
The Bucks.
The Bucks. So it's going to be cool to see when Kenny Omega reappears. It's going to be... I think he's going to go a little crazy. He's going to start taking out some of the elite. I think it's going to be Kenny Omega.
I think we're going to see Face Omega when he comes back eventually.
I think so, too.
I think Bobby Fish is getting plugged in as the fourth member of that team for now.
Which is smart.
And we'll see what happens. Yeah.
It's very smart. It's very smart. So, Adam, we had a jam-packed card here. Do you have a match of the night?
Yes, I absolutely do. Okay. And going into it, I thought nothing would be better than Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega, but I actually had, aside from the entrances in the end, I really loved everything about that match too. But, I mean, probably Hangman winning was the best part of the night, but the best match of the night was CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I
could not turn away from watching that match. From the opening spinning back fist.
That match was incredible, and that was on my list too, but for me, my match of the night has to go to Dr. Britt Baker and Ty Conte.
If you said Jurassic Express, I was going to come over this.
No. That match was more serviceable to me than it was to you, but I think that the showing by Ty Conte and the ability for Dr. Britt Baker to do what she did in terms of selling all the offense and not allowing her side carts to really interfere too much, but just enough to make it a dirty win. I really enjoyed that. So, do you have a wrestler of the night?
Oh yeah, far and away Cody Rhodes. No, I'm just kidding. Gotta give it up to the champion. I'll say Hangman Adam Page is my wrestler of the night.
I could go with that too.
Right behind him is MJF.
And that's my wrestler of the night. I'm going MJF. Just the way that he handled.
Also, that match is right behind best match of the night too. That opening Darby MJF match was incredible.
Fantastic. I only gave it to the women because I believe that match required a couple more moving parts.
Yes, and it exceeded. Like, I had high expectations for MJF Darby.
Yeah.
The women's match, I had decently high expectations, but it blew him out of the water.
Excelled, yeah. So, do you have a piss break match of the night?
Oh, it's hard to pick. But I'd say the Inner Circle versus, what is it, Top Team MMA.
Yeah. I can't. Here's the thing. I know we're supposed to pick different from each other, but I can't.
Yeah.
Because I fell asleep.
I mean, the Cody match was close as well.
The only reason why the
even
Cody
though I
match
hate
is
Luchasaurus,
good,
that one's not even in the running. It was
because the action in the Jurassic Express match was better, and I think too when you look at
the action in the Cody match was
good because also Pac is a stud.
Drank my face off during that match though. I was so not into it.
Well, speaking of beer, then, do you have a beer getter wrestler of the night? Now, this is not least valuable because wrestling's really hard, but is there one person you felt that could have put in like a better effort in their match?
Oh, well, I was going to say Lucha Boris, but no, he can't get any better. He just sucks. Somebody that like underwhelmed me.
Yeah.
Maybe Andre El Idolo.
Yeah, he didn't do much.
Maybe, yeah.
I'm going with Nyla Rose.
Oh, I mean, that's easy. Yeah, for sure.
I just think that she had an opportunity here to really.
She wasn't bad on Dynamite this week, though.
No, she was good on Dynamite, but like I felt like in this thing, she could have sold more offense against Thunder Rosa to really like get more anticipation for that match. And I feel like it could have been a good send-off point for her. And she was doing some cool stuff on the outside of the ring, but I wanted to see her do more stuff in the ring.
Jose, the assistant, also kind of lackluster.
He has Rubens. So we went over a hell of a card. Before we go and break for our single ad, because we fired somebody, but before we go to our ad for the people who actually still support us,
Johnny Drip Drip?
Well, he got fired, and that's what I was going to say. WWE released a whole bunch of other wrestlers, and John Morrison is one of them. This is,
I think probably he was the biggest name, right?
Oh, Isaiah Scott too,
right?
Yeah,
I mean, not as popular because he just hadn't been there
right.
as long, but yeah.
But man, like talk about like if you look at Scott, it was like a call up in mid-October after you win the NA championship. You do all these things, you get your call up at 19th.
Put together a cool stable of people that could actually cut really decent promos.
Yeah.
And even that's not good enough.
And firing shots at AEW incredibly, too. They were taking shots at the Young Bucks and getting heat for it. It was fantastic. Hey, WWE, you don't care about your wrestlers. And guess what? After we review our thing next week, we don't care about you either. So, bye. We fired Smooth My Balls. And we're firing you, too. So we are going to go in and break for our one ad. If you like us and you want to sponsor us, we're just one click away. But if you support our one sponsor, you support us. And when you support us, we're bringing some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to see you on the other side. Welcome back. Hopefully you enjoyed our one ad because fuck you, Smooth My Balls. Because again, when you support our ad, you support us, and when you support us, we're bringing you some pretty cool stuff.
And when we have to fire you, we're going to turn on you like Cody Rhodes should.
We're going straight heel on you.
Right to the jugular with that.
Dissension. There was dissension between me
I don't know the
and
story
that company.
Yet, I'm going to, I'll have to hear it after the podcast. Little shady. But let's get from that to, what's next?
To a social media smackdown that Adam is not happy about because I put it out to all of our listeners on social media, and thank you for all the people who followed us and are participating in our social media smackdowns. We asked you guys who has a better chicken sandwich because Adam and I went at it last episode about who had the better one, and it was between Popeyes and Chick-fil-A. And I just want to say the power of Christ compels our fans because Chick-fil-A sandwich came in at 95%, absolutely mollywhopping that Popeyes sandwich at 5%.
Can I ask a serious question?
You could try.
Did anybody vote for Popeyes except for me? Because I voted on it from two separate platforms.
We had a couple people.
Okay.
But there's overwhelming
Jesus,
amount of
that
people.
overwhelming.
But we had 2 suggestions then too. I wasn't asking for suggestions, but we had some dirty players. One person mentioned the KFC sandwich, which go fuck yourself. That's a terrible sandwich. And then Bojangles, which I'm not going on a road trip to get a sandwich.
Bojangles is good though.
Yeah, but
it's not worth a road trip. But if you're driving past one anyway, it's worth stopping.
That's why I stop at the Hardee's down south.
And I'll never kick KFC out of bed for eating crackers. You don't like it? I like the chicken. Their sides are kind of garbage.
They are, dude.
But like their chicken sandwich and their tendies, they're pretty decent.
You know what the difference is between their mashed potatoes and their potato wedge fries?
Nothing.
They're both mushy as shit. One has more pepper in it than the other one does. And the gravy looks like what my grandma used to throw up before she went to hospice.
Wow. Your hate for KFC almost matches my hate for
KFC. I even hate their chicken. I really do. I don't like them whatsoever.
You probably expect me to vent on the listeners. 95% of them for taking Chick-fil-A over
because all
Popeyes.
You've done the entire time since we had this debate was text me about how I'm an asshole for liking Chick-fil-A.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's just...
We weren't even using it on the podcast. No, you kept texting me you're a fucking asshole for liking Chick-fil-A.
It's going back to high school. It's going back to the cliques.
Okay.
Everybody likes the quarterback.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Chick-fil-A is the quarterback. Chick-fil-A, everybody likes it. Oh, look at how long our drive-through lines are.
300 yards on the field.
Yeah, our drive-through line's 300 yards long because the kiddies love our chicken nuggies.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the quarterback, especially when he's white and he's got blonde hair and he hates all the cornerbacks. That's Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is the racist high school quarterback that you guys all seem to love. But me and my Popeyes folks, we're cool with everybody.
Are you trying to tell me...
Always accepting over here equality. That's why I won't even hate you Chick-fil-A people. I'll order you a nice Popeyes chicken sandwich. No, I'll get off my soapbox. I do eat Chick-fil-A from time to time. But I do not like their politics.
Are you called the Chick-fil-A sandwich?
Racist. A quarterback.
A pure blood German?
Well, a little bit.
So... Chick-fil-A
The bread's not quite artisanal, but it does start with an A.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I heard Chick-fil-A moved to Argentina in the 70s. And 80s and 90s. Just stayed there for a while.
It's a mission. It's a mission.
But congratulations, Chick-fil-A, for winning our...
I don't even want to accept the victory
media
anymore because I feel dirty.
It is a good spicy chicken sandwich, though.
It is good.
Just terrible behind the scenes.
Yeah, dude. And we crack jokes all the time, but man, when you really look at Chick-fil-A and how they disenfranchised, the LGBTQ plus community and also the people of color.
And just women, too. I mean, they do... They hire women to work at the restaurants, but look at their corporate structure.
Yeah.
It's very 1940s and 50s. It's that kind of. They're keeping that kind of household.
Well, isn't it so odd then? Not really that everyone has to say, "My pleasure."
And I'm not a cancel call. You know what? It's not that much of a stretch, I guess, right?
Go soak your feet in the kitchen and make me a fucking sandwich, and I want to hear you say it. Say it.
Which I'm not.
My pleasure.
I'm not on the cancel culture team of much, but when you're a corporation and you're that unequal about stuff, kind of weirds me out.
So when you're a dickhead,
yeah.
No, I can agree with you on that one. It's a sandwich that I grab when I'm in a pinch. I do love the Popeye sandwich. I love a good spice. I think
it does have that.
It does. But I think, if one company could solve racism with a sandwich, it could be a good heel turn from Chick-fil-A. If they finally decided to stop being bastards and start being more inclusive and mean it, 95% of our listeners could be in a better place.
That's true. But then they might not need 3 restaurants in Robinson.
Yeah, you can see them from each other.
You can.
It's like, oh, there's one, and then they're next to Starbucks too, so you can get the shits. You can get
Talk about Jesus winning, because the newest one took over the Tilted Kilt.
Yeah, you Jezebels.
I forget what it was before that, but now it was a Tilted Kilt,
Tits McGee,
which was awful. It was
dude,
Tilted
the
Kilt.
Tilted Kilt was a good idea, and then executed so terribly.
Yeah, here now I'm on your a little bit on your side, Chick-fil-A side. That place was the #1 place to go for food poisoning. Like, it was awful.
So can I get the pretzel sticks? You can, but just understand this real quick. You're gonna die.
How did I get salmonella from pretzels?
Dude, it's a real thing.
And I did.
I can't believe that.
It was what I think Sean's bachelor party. Oh.
No, it was mine.
Oh, that's right. It was yours. Sean was there.
Because we were like, oh, where do we go next? And it was like, oh, we don't want, like, I don't like strip clubs, so I don't want to go there. And someone was like, oh, I want to see boobs. Yeah. So, like, we go to Tilted Kilt.
I think we went there for a beer and then
went to a beer. My beer was flat and warm.
Oh, yeah, and then we went to the other place that closed down in Robinson.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Well, we started off at that not rock bottom, but
no, that place is also closed. Yeah. That place rocked.
That was really cool.
And I can't think of the name of that. Like the German bar place. I mean, they had German food.
They had German food, and then tons of craft beer.
Yeah, I can't remember that place either.
Man,
your bachelor party died in Robinson. Like everywhere we went to, you were like,
I killed Robinson.
You were the Grim Reaper of Robinson.
Feels good. So we're in round 2, and Adam, you're telling me that we have a theme here. So what round 2 beers? Let's cook them up.
We do. So it's a real stretch for a theme, but our theme this week is Roots. Because now we went from Dark Roots. Now we have a little something from Strange Roots, which is a local brewery here in Millville, and they have a location in Gibsonia, PA. And this week we have the Mutant Temple, which is a 5.3. Got to get that can crack. ABV, and like I said, IPA with it's dry hopped with Citra. So I knew that was one of your favorites. It's one of my favorites. And by the look of it, it's not listed anywhere, but it is in New England.
Yeah. As soon as you pour it, you know it's in New England. Damn, dude. The smell it's in my eyeballs. This thing has a punch. Dear Lord, man.
Yeah, it is good. It is super citrusy. I got this super fresh. So
yeah, that sings.
So I guess the brewery. I'm looking at the can. I guess the brewery has now. I believe the Gibsonia location was their second location, and that's where it says this was brewed out of. So I guess the brewery's all up there now.
That's pretty cool.
Their original location was Millville, and the mill. I can't speak much else for the Gibsonia location. I'm pretty sure they have food, but the Millville location has now paired with Pittsburgh Sandwich Society, the food truck, and they do all the food for that location, so you can't go wrong. They do a killer. It's not a double melt. It's almost like a loose meat sandwich, but with a ton of cheese. Oh, it's a chopped cheese. That's what it's called.
Oh,
it's a New York sandwich.
Delicious.
It was killer good.
Oh, someone tried to poison me over at Condado the other day.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they were super cool about it. If I could plug Condado for a hot second. So I went over there for a quick lunch, 2 tacos, super quick, in and out. I'm usually a 4 taco kind of guy. So I jumped in, I was like, I just want to get this and this. And they have this Korean barbecue taco, and it has ground meat in it. You know, Papa can't have red meat because it hurts. So the waitress comes over, and I was like, can I have the pulled jackfruit instead? Like, just a little bit in there for a protein. He's like, yeah, sure. So I'm talking to my friend I was eating Condado with. I was taking bites out of my second taco. I was like, that tastes like red meat. And I looked down, and it's red meat. And I was like, okay. I ate half of it. This is going to hurt later or whatever. I put the taco down, and the waitress sees me put it down. There was the only 2 people in the top part of it. She comes over. She's like, is everything okay? I was like, yeah, there's just ground meat in there. I just didn't order ground meat. I was like, but it's cool. She apologized profusely, which made me feel weird. And then she went in the back and scolded the guy who made the tacos.
She probably thought, like, I mean, and granted, it's for like a dietary thing for you, but she might have thought like you were a vegetarian or something.
She must have, because the cook came
and then that would be like a bigger deal. Yeah,
he was like, sorry, man, some of you vegetarians like. I'm like. And I was like, not to be weird about it, but it's not. I'm a vegetarian. It hurts if I eat it. And he goes, it fucking hurts if you eat it? I was like, oh, shit, man. I made it way weirder than that.
You should have just said you were a vegetarian.
I should have. It would have been like way stressful. But shout out to Condado. They said, take, like, your tacos are on us. Sorry about that. If you want to come back later, and we'll make you your taco that we fucked up. And then I was.
Oh, very cool.
They were super chill about it. But
Yeah.
I digress.
And just another quick plug for Strange Roots. Their IPA, so they were originally dry log when they opened in Millville, which was all wild ales and sours. Phenomenal. And their wild ales and sours are still great.
Yeah.
They do some of them barrel aging, different barrels. Very cool. But they now do like IPAs, lagers, everything, and it's all really good. I mean, their IPAs are pretty killer.
Yeah. Absolutely. This
And right
IPA
off the exit,
smacks.
too. So it's really easy to pop in and out of there.
And the setup looks really cool.
Yeah.
Like all their artwork is really sick.
Still got to get up to the Gibsonia location, though.
Yeah,
I
for
have to do
sure.
that maybe next summer.
Yeah. Yeah. Be nice. Because I think they have a nice beer garden out there, too.
I think they do.
Yeah. Nice outdoor seating, which I love. So, Adam, usually you and I go after each other in the second half of the podcast. We have a debate.
I think I already did enough of that with the Chick-fil-A reference again.
Yeah, I think we could strike that one off. But it is our Thanksgiving episode, and I wanted to say I give thanks to you for being my partner on this podcast. It's very nice to split this time with you and go over some of the things that we love. And the one thing that I do love is talking beer and food with you, which we kind of did earlier. And the people who listen to us, and of course, when you're listening to us, you love those two things. You love food, you love beer. We are not thin men. So if you're listening to this and you think we're talking about keto diets, then you're in the wrong place. I do love meat, though. So, Adam, I think it's only right, because people can hear this leading up to Turkey Day, that we can help them pair some things on their Thanksgiving Day dinner menu with some beers that we love, maybe some styles that we love. So, and here's the thing. You have a more refined palate than I do. So
This was a bunch of fun for me.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to hear your very eloquent answers, and then I hope that you can endure my blue collar responses.
Sure. I mean, maybe you'll give me something to think about I wasn't thinking about.
Probably not. So,
I tried to be nice.
so if we start with any good dinner, you're sitting down with your family, you want to wet the whistle a little bit, you're going to bring out some appetizers. And in my house, we just eat cheese and crackers, fruit tray, veggie tray. Some people go charcuterie board.
Yeah.
Which
That's what Peggy does. That's my mom. Everybody.
yeah. And nothing wrong with a good board.
Love a charcuterie board.
It is awesome, especially if you get some good salami on that bad boy. That's some good shit. So, Adam, if you're looking at something like this, and I have an idea for this, but what would you think would be a good beer that people can grab locally, or something that's not too hard to get your hands on to really pair with a good appetizer?
So, right off the bat, I'm not going to tell you where to get it from. I'm just going to go with beer styles and a little explanation on why I like them. But this one's, if you search a little bit, and you can find this style in any Giant Eagle that has a big enough beer selection, a Kolsch goes really well with charcuterie. It's light and crisp enough that it's not overpowering any of the even more delicate cheeses you're having, but there's enough acid, enough to get real technical, enough acid to it, enough flavor to it to kind of wipe away cut through any of the fats from the cheeses and those salamis you're talking about. So I love a good light beer. There's another light beer that could go here too, but I'm going to save that for my turkey suggestion.
Yeah.
But I'll go with a Kolsch for this.
Yeah, absolutely. I like to go towards a Pilsner, but of a specific style. I like an Italian Pilsner. Yeah, because they're kind of skunky a little bit, and they have that seltzery kind of flavor to them as well. And I'm not a big seltzer guy. I have them when I need to, but I think a good people think of Peroni if they want a pretty common one.
It's like a hoppy.
Something that's got a little skunk to it, kind of goes along, it borders up to wine a little bit.
I can tell you a good local place that has that.
Yes.
Every once in a while, I don't know the last time they've done it, Cinderlands has had an Italian Pilsner.
Yes.
But a really, really good one is at a Hop Farm. And I know it's not on right now, but it should be back for Christmas time, I think. So, an Italian Pils is definitely worth checking out.
So I actually had a good choice.
You did very good. Actually, the second one, which spoiler alert, it's coming later, Pilsner is also very good.
So I think it's a good idea too. And I was going to say too, one beer that I really like to go along with cheese and crackers for a beer is if you have a lighter dark beer that is aged in wine barrels. So if you're
getting fancy.
I am getting fancy. So there was a beer that you can't get up here, but it was a beer down in Carolina when I was down there for a training. It was called Hey Nice Legs. and it was aged in
Creative name for a wine barrel beer. I
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
and it was delicious. It was in rosé barrels. Came in at like 14%. Had a wine forward taste to it, but they were fancy. So they were doing a cheese and crackers and barrel aged night. So I like that a lot.
Yeah, it
so,
would definitely work.
yeah. So we have pre-dinner servings. So any fat person knows there's appetizers and there's pre-dinner servings. So everyone's like, yeah, charcuterie board, I got cheese and crackers, got this veggie tray. Where's my fucking soup? I want artisanal bread. I want that brioche. I want that gabagouche. I want that.
Italian Thanksgiving.
I'm going from Polish to Italian. But you have that like next step up. And I'm not talking about salad. If you have salad at your Thanksgiving dinner, get out of my house. I don't want that. I want something that it's flavorful, it's packed, it's a little filling, it kind of gets you ready, it kind of like opens you up for the main course. So, Adam, what would you pair with a pre-dinner, post-appetizer, pre-main course?
Yeah. So I'm not familiar with this course, but I kind of get what you were saying. and I saw you used like an autumn squash soup. So it's like, cool, squash soup. Got the perfect thing. Similar mouthfeel. You want one of them big, fruity, put some marshmallow in it, sours.
Yeah.
To just completely cover up the taste. No. In all honesty.
Like a smoothie.
In all honesty, the exact opposite of that. What I think would go good with a squash soup is maybe like a dark malty, like amber ale. Like you're not getting into stout porter territory, but a good malty, caramely amber ale that just kind of complements that fall season flavor of the soup. And it's not thick. It's thin.
Yeah.
Let the soup be thick. Kind of recondition your palate, clean it off. You get a little bit of that grittiness, a little bit of that thickness from the soup. So, I think it just complements kind of the earthy roastiness of that soup and is a good beer to have.
Yeah. And I'm thinking on my side, like I'm thinking of that bread. Very filling, and especially if you have a good brioche, like it's very airy and it fills your stomach up. So you don't want something that's super bubbly. So I want something that can kind of be served at a room temperature as a flat. So I do like a plain Jane stout to go along with this, because I feel I'm a bread guy. Obviously, if you haven't seen me, like you'll figure it out in a hot second. I'm a bread guy, but I think if you have a good like flavorful yeasty bread. And you can cut that flavor, kind of reset your palate for the bread with a nice. I think that the Dark Roots here is a great idea. I think that works very well. But I also want to go to a favorite that if they ever changed it and it went back to how it used to be, the Brackenridge Vanilla Porter. Because if you serve it at room temperature,
It got a little poopy in recent years.
it did. If it could go back to how it was back in like 2015, I'd really enjoy that. Or I'm just going to get ultra violent and just give me like a high IBU IPA and I'm just going to blow my fucking face out. So like a Dirt Wolf or something.
Damn. Well, see, yeah, that kind of falls. I mean, that's like a malt, especially the Dirt Wolf's like a maltier hoppy IPA. So I don't completely disagree with you there. And I know we're not competing, but I disagree with you on the stout only because it's pre-dinner. And for my tum-tum, bread plus stout is going to fill me up before I even get to the main course.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were a man.
But yeah, I was going to say, I think you're more of a bread guy than I am.
I am. I like my liquid bread to go along with my firm bread.
That is a filling pre-dinner.
It is. Because I'm trying to stay away from some of the other stuff that happens in the main event because I want to like take my time.
Gotcha.
But I do like a good stout to get myself warmed up for the main event. So I kind of pared it down for the main courses here. So I think it's very easy to say it's turkey, stuffing, veggies. I think that's a good idea because I don't think, people have other stuff that go along with it. Cranberry sauce, whatever you're going to put in there. But I think
Cranberry sauce is tough to pair anything with.
Yeah,
it gives you that bitter mouth.
You know what you drink with that? Grey Goose. Flat. Nothing with it. Just put some of it in the Grey Goose.
That would actually be pretty good, probably.
I think so.
Yeah.
But let's go.
Cranberry sauce. Then brush your teeth. Then chug orange juice. See if your head explodes.
So I think let's go one at a time here. So let's go with you're eating all of this together, but what would you pair with just turkey?
So I got kind of a boring one for turkey.
Yeah.
It's being the main event and all, but what you used for the charcuterie board, a Pilsner, is really good.
Yeah.
It's a good thirst quencher for that dry ass turkey. If you make dry ass turkey, everybody's guilty of it.
My turkey's fucking wet.
But since we already said Pilsner somewhere else, I think a good backup would be like a nice pale ale, not a complete IPA that's super hoppy that's going to blow out your taste buds because you got a lot of food to eat.
Yeah.
So I think like a nice lighter hopped pale ale would also work here for the same reason. Crisp, kind of hydrating, kind of just giving you some flavor on that bland ass turkey that you might be eating.
Yeah, if your mother-in-law's making it for it, might be bland, but if you come over to the Cos de la Anderson, it's so flavorful. And that's why...
You're like, oh, what's this? Some pollo burrito here?
I can't believe. Did Jesus Christ himself come down here and make my turkey? Nah, bro. It was a fat Czechoslovakian just making the shit out that bird.
Now let's go out back and smoke some cabbage rolls after dinner.
Let's do that shit. But I
imagine that's what you do after.
I definitely do.
Just light it up like a stogie.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm like, who made this? I'm packing it like a pack of cigarettes. With a turkey, though, like, and I say this to say, like, I don't think my turkey's not perfect. I don't want to brag too much. I think my turkey's good, but it has a lot of spice and it's very flavor forward. So I do want something that's not going to take the spice out of my creation. So I am going to kind of align myself with you, but I'm going to go very, very commercial here. Don't hate me on this one because it has a little bit of a sweet tinge to it, which will only accent a lot of the spices here. I just want a good old Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Oh, that's not. I thought you were going to go with the Miller Light.
It makes my body hot when I drink it. It raises my. It makes my.
No, I mean that's a fine choice.
Yeah,
a good cream ale I think would be good too.
I'm ramping up,
yeah.
so
okay.
I'm going with
that for the turkey. Gotcha,
yes, for the turkey.
I think it's a good choice.
Yeah,
I think it's a solid
it lets
choice.
the spices play, and there's inside secret. Usually, whenever you get a Pilsner commercially, the reason why it's always on point is because they put a lot of sweets in it. That makes it very easy to make it the same every time. And sorry, Pabst Blue Ribbon, but you have a very high sugar count. That's why it's not good for you when you drink that shit. But I like it, and it's actually a staple in my fridge. Whenever I have a light beer, I need a light beer. It's usually the Ribbon. So turkey's your main event, but you can't have turkey without stuffing. Stuffing in my house is quintessential, and it's very celery heavy forward. I do like a good celery.
Ooh. Mine's the opposite.
Yeah.
This is where I become a bread guy.
Okay.
Mine's very bread forward with some carrots and onions. I try to keep the celery to a minimum. Although I'm not making it this year. I think Mama Bash gets a little celery heavy on hers too.
It's an old school thing, I think.
I mean, it keeps the bird from drying out. So
it does. It really does. So what are you pairing with stuffing, bud?
So it's really weird that the stuffing, I'm kind of going in a completely opposite direction. This is where you bring out the seasonals to me.
Okay.
The stuffing has a lot of those flavors that just make you think Thanksgiving. So I'm going with a winter warmer, or pull out one if you got any left from August when they all hit the shelves. Pull out like a malty pumpkin beer. I'm not saying a stout. I'm saying like a malty amber. Maybe if they did a pumpkin brown ale, something like that. Rip it out now because I think this is where you throw the seasonal stuff.
I could really see that happening too, especially because if you let's say you make your stuffing with some of the seasonal spices. Like some people do that. They'll actually use like 5 spice and everything with their stuffing, which is cool. I like that.
I think it's a good idea.
Cranberry and whatnot. That'd be really cool. I like to get aggressive whenever I'm eating stuffing, and I'm going to throw it out there because it's a favorite beer of mine, and it is seasonal too. I'm in line with you with this, but I'm going to go Spooky Tooth Imperial because it has clove notes to it that go along with the spices that you find in stuffing. Like usually, commonly sage is something that you're using with your stuffing.
It's got a great malt character too.
Yeah,
I actually have not had a Spooky Tooth this year.
I am all out, buddy.
How was it this year? Good.
It was really good, man. It's a beer that I always get worried is not going to taste as good as it did the year before, and it always tastes the same.
Fatheads, if anything, is consistent.
They're very consistent. I enjoy that because, again, if you haven't heard, it was my wedding beer, and it makes me happy inside when I drink it. So I would drink that with stuffing.
Good choice. And that's a multi-boy, too, so that totally works.
Totally enjoy it. So veggies, commonly overlooked by the common cook, but can sing and really cap a great. I got an email. I'm so sorry. So many dildos, so little time left from Adam and Eve. on my, like, it's just popping up.
Congratulations. I didn't even have to put that in the notes this week.
I know, dude. Hey,
Happy Thanksgiving.
just so you know, I guess Adam and Eve is having a half off sale on dildos. I've never bought anything from Adam and Eve.
Yeah, right.
I
If
haven't.
there was many dildos coming out of you as going in you, you'd be a porcupine.
Jesus Christ. So there are veggies round out of fucking meal.
Back to family dinner.
Back to family dinner, dildos aside, back to family dinner. So with veggies, I feel like you could go two ways here. I think you either go like traditional, you keep them earthy, you keep them as their natural state,
You're gonna
or
love me.
you go the other side and you really season them up. You spice them, or you salt them, or you get
I
them.
didn't go that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I went with the earthy, and then
Yeah.
I went with the sweet, like the sweet potato casserole here.
Okay.
As well. So I got two different beers for two different situations.
I like it.
I know sweet potatoes probably aren't, I don't know what they're considered. Are they a root vegetable, like a carrot?
They're definitely a root vegetable.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing.
They're less of a starch, like a real
Yeah,
potato.
I don't count them as anything that makes me sound fat. So they are a vegetable.
Me too, because it's like one of my favorite go-to vegetables, and I'm using air quotes.
For all the listeners who can't see us, we're using air quotes.
I mean, they're definitely healthier than just a regular baked potato. So
without a doubt, man. Yeah.
So for the earthy, like, and I have listed some examples of what hits our table: carrots, green beans, Brussels sprouts, and just to kind of get that vegetal taste out of the way and get something bubbly on your tongue, I go with a good Hefeweizen right here.
Smart play.
For the earthy ones.
Yeah.
Then if you want me to hit the sweet potatoes, love a good brown ale, but even better than a brown ale, nice IPA right here.
And that's
To
where
cut the sweetness.
my brain goes. Yeah. I want a sessionable IPA. I want a 4%er to accompany this because I season up my vegetables.
In either way, earthy or seasoned?
Yeah.
Because you could put an IPA, like the appropriate IPA, like more of a West Coast than this New England we're drinking right now.
That's true.
Kind of just builds on the earthiness. So if you're an earthy, like if you like that taste, it helps that. If you like the spicy, there's nothing better than an IPA with a spicy.
You know what?
So it works in either situation.
Hear me out on this one. Very specific. I just had one. Thanks, Bobby Nacho. Could you imagine like roasted Brussels sprouts or broccoli with a nice Chinooki?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that would be.
Yeah.
Guess what Daddy's having? Hey, Nacho, I'm coming for you, buddy.
Gotta hit that outpost.
I'm gonna have to, man, because now I'm thinking about it and I'm drooling. So Chinooki, baby. So we move on to the dessert.
My main event.
Exactly.
No, not turkey's my main event. I like meat.
My mom goes absolute Caligula crazy when it comes to the desserts. So there's everything from cookies, there's cream pies, there's ice cream, there's it's cream-based pie. That sounds weird. There's cream-based pies.
There you go.
Thanks, buddy.
That makes it sound less weird.
Thank you for making eye contact with me.
Adam and Eve coming back at you with
Hey,
another
these
email.
dildos are 50% off. It's a good deal. It's Black Friday now.
50% off and 50% bigger. You know you need.
Here comes Old Thunder. You didn't think you needed him, but he's coming back.
Just Zeus's fist.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Could you imagine that thing? The vein in his
We're
arm.
on dessert.
Sorry. Okay, yeah. So we're on dessert. We'll talk about Zeus's dick later. So I think it's only right. I think everyone kind of sticks around pies for dessert. There are lots of cookies in my house, but I think like it's ubiquitous. We could use pie. And in my house, it usually is like a tradition, like an apple pie or a pumpkin pie. You know, very Americana in my house. What about you?
It's sometimes pie. Sometimes my mom makes pumpkin cake every once in a while.
That sounds great.
Then my wife makes a killer pumpkin roll. So pumpkin vein usually. I think we've done apple pie in the past because a couple of us aren't huge pumpkin pie fans, including myself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're going to have a similar beer on this one because it doesn't matter what dessert it is. If it's a sweet treat, especially a pastry of any sort, any pie, cake, cookie, this is where you pull out that coffee stout that you love so much for really, really, really obvious reasons. You got the coffee. There's nothing better with a sweet treat than a good hot cup of coffee. Mm-hmm. The only thing a little bit better because it has alcohol in it is a coffee stout.
Yes. on the head.
Yeah.
That is,
and it's all for the same reason. The bitterness cuts the sweetness, gets you resets your palate ready for the next bite instead of just sugar hitting your.
And also too, my very specific coffee stout.
Here comes triple shakes.
Gets me ready for that night football game when you hit that triple shakes.
I have my air horn ready.
From Hitchhiker, one of my favorite coffee stouts of all time. Really enjoy that one, and the booziness is there. The booziness cuts down on the sweetness, and then it resets my palate for another bite of my mom's delicious pie, whatever she's making this year. Like I already said, she's gonna do the pumpkin cheesecake. Man, a big slice of that with triple shakes, I'll be in heaven, man.
Still waiting for my favorite coffee stout to come back, but for now, I'll say it's triple shakes.
What is it?
I'm waiting for El Satan to come back.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Bobby Nacho,
Nacho, you're on notice, bro.
That was their collab with Black Forge. So.
Oh man, that was a banger.
That was a good one.
I remember I had the smiling moose.
Plus, Grandma loves when you show up with that too. Thanksgiving.
Yeah, she always really appreciates you bringing a banger. My mom hates beer. Inside scoop. My mom hates beer. But I took her again, shout out Nacho. I took her a can of the sour he brought to.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, she loved it. She loved it, man. That and Cellar Works had the pineapple Dole Whip.
Oh, that thing's nuts.
Yeah, she loved that.
Does she like coffee?
She likes coffee.
You should let her try that Dawn of the Living
She
Dead
hates
stuff.
it.
Oh, okay.
If it tastes anywhere near like beer,
Barely beer though. That one's
that's
so
all
good.
she needs a barely beer taste, and she's like, man. She goes old lady on. I'm 65.
Your
Fuck
mom
this.
is not a duck. Don't make her sound like one.
Whack whack whack. I hate beer. Whack whack. So Adam, I think we gave everyone a pretty keen menu here. If you go back and listen to it, you can get some good ideas here. Don't forget to ask people who are coming over, what do they like to drink? You can get most of these beers at your local market district. I know a lot of them still have these beers on. And also, too, just so you know, you can always go with some shit beer like Miller Lite. Don't.
Get some local brew.
Yeah, you got some local brews around here. And keep your eyes on some of these places because they do bring out some seasonal stuff that really kicks ass, and this is their time to shine.
I know I actually might have to swing up there tomorrow. I know Necromancer came out with like a Thanksgiving beer. I gotta see when it comes out.
Yeah.
So I want to try theirs this year. And I like the can, so I'm sticking that label somewhere. Game
of Thrones with a turkey on it. Sick. So, Adam, we have some listener questions, comments, and whatevs. And this is a shout out to one of our favorite listeners. She's a friend of the show, and she was listening to our episode last week, and she said, you guys said something along the lines of like water changes the taste of beer or some shit like that. So, Adam,
eloquent.
Very eloquent. I think I made the alteration there. That was yeah, because that's not her. She's very well spoken. I'm not. So, Adam, very big question for you because you're the mastermind here. How does water change the flavor of beer?
Yeah, so I'm no expert in the field. So
bullshit.
I won't get deep into the details of water chemistry. I'm not any sort of pro about it.
You're a scientist.
No, I'm not. But basically, like, especially here in Pittsburgh and a lot of other metropolitan cities, your water comes from different sources. Really here in Pittsburgh, because you got the rivers, you got all kinds of different sources for your water. So every neighborhood, potentially, every area of the city kind of has a different tasting water. And that can affect the beer. And there's a bunch of things about the water specifically that affects the beer that you can all treat and adjust with certain chemicals and like calcium and salt and stuff like that. But the big things in water that affect it is the water's pH, the level of calcium, the level of magnesium, the level of sodium, the level of chloride, sulfates in the water, and bicarbonate are the big ones that I think every brewery at least gets a test done on their water to see how to adjust to get those levels where they need. And the most popular beer right now that really needs adjustments even beyond that to make it what it is a New England IPA. Like part of getting the haze and that mouthfeel to a New England IPA is a lot of the water chemistry. as well as the ingredients you put in it. But water's a huge ingredient. I mean, water's a big part of the beer. You've been here on brew days.
Oh, yeah.
We use gallons of water.
Yeah.
Like,
we approach 30 gallons of water every time.
So it can definitely change the taste of your beer, the feel, like the mouthfeel of your beer, everything. So most breweries actually have to get it. I just learned this month. A lot of breweries get it tested every season because season to season, the water treatment plants will change how they're treating it.
The temperature.
Right.
And
the pH can change. They're putting different chemicals. Yeah, with the temperature change and everything. So, you basically send the water off to a laboratory, get the results back, and then you can – I use a software to do it. Some people are scientists and can do it themselves.
Smart
But it's
kids.
really like parts by million how you're adjusting it for your different beers. And here at Bash Brew, we just started really getting into that about 2 years ago. And I still don't get my water tested enough. I got to get it tested. Once winter is into full swing, I'm going to get it tested again.
Yeah. And I think we're going to have a bitter winter, so I really think the groundwater is going to change.
And I want to do some hazies this winter. So I got to
for sure.
I got to figure out what we're working with here.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you. That was actually a very
that's
answer.
high. When you actually like ask a brewer that, my description's high level.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing I think is pH for most beers.
Yeah, I would
especially around here. But all of those things are important.
Yeah. So a much easier question, Adam. If you could skip a holiday, which one would it be?
Christmas.
Yeah, for me it's Arbor Day. Fuck trees.
but you work for Arboretum Trail. How could you say that?
I work for you.
Whoa. Backpedaling.
What do you mean? The check didn't clear. He paid me. He gave me a check. It looked like fucking Monopoly money, and I went to go check it. I couldn't go cash it. And the guy at PNC looks at this thing. He goes, "This isn't even a real."
If we're gonna go like obscure holidays,
Yeah.
Groundhog Day kind of sucks. What the fuck is May Day? Like all the
It's a day in May, isn't it?
Valentine's Day. You know what Valentine's Day sucks?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boom.
Yeah. Count
Fucking
that
Hallmark
one.
holiday.
High five
Everybody
that
puts
shit.
too much fucking shit.
Good lord. So,
Worse than Christmas.
Gotta
I
give a
found
girlfriend something really fucking cool. She'll love you. She already loves you. She doesn't need something on Valentine's Day. And
Unless you don't get her anything.
Yeah, then you find out the hard way. Also, too, if she holds you accountable for Valentine's Day or your boyfriend holds you accountable for Valentine's Day, get a new partner.
Especially if it's your boyfriend.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when it's on the calendar, so don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Although I do get some nice stuff for Valentine's Day.
The only reason I remember that it's February 14th is because Tommy Buns usually comes to Pittsburgh on Valentine's Day.
He sure does.
He does.
He
This
did
come here
19.
shows love. Yeah. So that weird little Twitter feed I follow asked another question of us. He sent me a DM because he heard that we were answering some of his questions, and he asked me, "Are you getting enough sleep at night?"
This is an easy answer.
Apparently, we sound manic.
No.
Yeah. So never.
Never.
I've never got like.
I slept 2 hours between Tuesday and Wednesday.
You look great.
Well, I slept in this morning because I was off today. So I actually got a full 8 hours last night.
They say you never make up your sleep debt, though.
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
You're
And you can't bank it. It doesn't count. If you sleep 12 hours today, you can't just cut 4 off tomorrow.
I slept for when I was on vacation. I slept from 1 p.m. till 9 a.m. the next day.
We sound manic. That's super appropriate.
Yeah.
That's just because we're excited to do this.
Absolutely. Yeah.
High energy.
Absolutely. If we weren't high energy, you guys wouldn't like us. And last year, it was a weird question that got posed to us. How much soon is applying to college?
I can't believe I remember this. I know it was 4, and I even remember the 4 I applied to.
Which ones were they?
So I applied to W&J,
Boo.
Robert Morris, Cal U, and Waynesburg. And I visited I can't remember what the one was called. Bethany. I visited Bethany College.
Yeah.
And I think I visited Wheeling Jesuit. But I didn't even apply to either of those.
I visited a bunch
Because they were
of
both out of state, and I was like, that becomes less affordable. So those instantly got chopped.
Dude, yeah. It goes up like 20 grand.
Yeah.
Like instantly. I checked out WVU because I wanted to go there because I like just love the atmosphere of that place. But I realized too that once I had residency there,
That's a really nice way to just say you love beer.
yeah,
The atmosphere.
I wanted to be a hooligan.
Yeah, you love just standing on top of mountains. No, you like beer and burning couches.
Yeah, 100%. And then, of course, I applied to Waynesburg, the school I chose. I applied to Penn State, Maine, which is the only school that actually turned me down was Penn State, Maine. And then I would try to Cal U. I think everyone tried Cal U around here.
It was my safety.
Yeah, mine too. Yeah, like
I mean, I was going for accounting, so like, it's not like there's a school that's like
no one's
awesome
killing it.
for that. Yeah,
well, at the
it's
time
just
too,
everybody's-
criminal justice was the same way. Like there was no school in our area that was like killing. Then Waynesburg ended up becoming a school that was
For that,
killing
yeah.
CJ and for accounting too. Like
Well, they what got me to go to Waynesburg was they had a forensic accounting major that they
Yeah.
were just starting. I think the year before we started there, and that's that, and it was affordable. Is what got
Yeah.
me there because W&J didn't turn me down, but I had to start late, so I would have started in their spring semester instead of the fall. And it was really expensive. So, yeah, my grades weren't good enough to get any help from them. Robert Morris was super expensive. And my safety school, because, again, it was accounting, so, like, I just would rather do the forensic accounting thing.
yeah,
And at that time, Cal U was, and probably still is, known for more like a school for education, like like going into teaching education.
Secondary
that
education
wasn't
for
my thing.
sure.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
And I would say too, like if you're applying for a bunch of schools, check in with your what do they call them? Guidance counselor.
Oh, for sure.
They always
Hopefully you
have
have a
those-
good one.
Yeah. I actually, for being in a small high school, I had a really good one. He had all these waiver forms to get all the registration fees or the application fees waived. It was great. Like I think I applied to 4 or 5 schools and I didn't pay a single dollar.
Ours was great, and I want to say we also had like, it wasn't his assistant, but it was like his contemporary that was like specifically in our school for like career goals and college, workshopping and stuff. Like just there to help seniors get into college.
Yeah.
Well, and juniors into seniors getting into college.
We always didn't have any faith in ours because he was like super sports focused. And if you do, we always thought like if you weren't playing sports, he wasn't gonna give a shit about you. And then when I came in, he's like you. I mean,
He thought you were a lineman.
he did first. Oh yeah, he used to follow me around the weight room and I was like lifting, and he'd be like, he's like, oh, do you want to play football? I was like, I'm playing soccer. But he typecasted me, but it was smart because I think at some point someone has to call you what you are, and he just looked at me. He's like, "You're one of the smart, nerdy dudes. Like, you need to go somewhere that can like foster those ideas and what you do." He's like, "Have you ever thought about computers, computer forensic, computer programming? Like, he's like, all these different schools have these great computer forensic programs and everything." And then he knew that Waynesburg was going to have the computer forensics program before I did. That's why I started off in and switched, but it was great, man. Like. He was good, and I don't give him often enough credit for steering me in the right way, but it ended up working out well. But yeah, don't be afraid for someone to call you what you are when you're trying to figure out your life at 18 years old.
Right.
It's okay to be labeled like a nerd or something.
And learn a little bit. First off, you're too young to be listening to us old farts.
Yeah.
But, and I was only like looking into, because I was going into accounting and finance, but know what student loans are, know what interest rates are.
Oh yeah.
Know what you're going to be paying coming out, because it's tough to blame a teenager for not knowing what they're getting into. But I mean, they do put it up front, like what you're getting into.
It's tough to blame them, but it's easy to take their fucking money.
Yeah, oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, just be smart about that overall. Like, go to the school you want if it has the program you want, but like also that bottom line is going to be there when you get out in 4 or 5 years.
I mean, is it safe? It's
6 years if you like to burn couches.
Yeah. Is it safe to say though that like I think I chose Cal U because it was affordable as a safety school? Did you do the same thing?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was affordable. I mean, Waynesburg was also affordable for me too. So, but Waynesburg was my like top. But yeah, I mean, Cal U is probably the most affordable.
Yeah, for sure.
Around in the area I was looking,
it was half the price of what I paid to go to Waynesburg.
yeah,
Easily.
I think it was.
Yeah.
It was way cheaper back then. Yeah.
Now, like it's whatever. So, moving on from that onto what we do with our education now. Adam, what's on tap and where can you find us?
I don't get paid for it.
Just like they told us it would happen.
Yeah, so right now on tap we have the Shat-Faced Pumpkin Roll Stout coming in at 8.1%. We have the Dark Roots Oatmeal Stout that we tried in segment 1 coming in at 6%. And we have the Nightmare Dressed Like a Daydream Lemon Bar Ale at 6.1%. All those will be on leading up to Thanksgiving. I can't promise it'll be here after that. But yeah, we got more stuff coming. We're brewing up This you can't find us anywhere. No festivals yet. But what's coming up is we are brewing the Every Time I Chai tea stout this
My
weekend.
favorite.
And we're brewing up a new one, a gingerbread stout. Ooh. Just in time for that little holiday that I don't like. And
Which one's that? Kwanzaa.
Yeah, no, no, I love Kwanzaa. Christmas can go suck a fat one. Anyway, and then after that, we are brewing our Christmas gruet, which is a cranberry honey lingonberry.
I forgot about that one.
Wheat, I guess, beer.
So
I
good.
have to look at the actual recipe. It's actually an ancient style that doesn't use hops.
It's really good.
But it's kind of the closest thing we do to a sour because it's a bitter sourness from the cranberry, and that really leads most of the flavor. So get ready for that coming into Christmas, and then I have a spruce tip IPA on the list too, but it's getting pushed back because I'm getting too close to the holidays to squeeze them all in.
Yeah, so that means you got to come drink these things. And if you want to find out what's happening down here in the Jojitorium and in the Brew Lab, all you have to do is follow Adam at Bash_Brew on all social media. He's also on Untapped. If you want to find out what's going on with the boys, all you do is search us out at DWTB on all social media. It's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget we drop our listener polls on Tuesdays, and new episodes drop Sunday mornings to go right along with that fresh cup of coffee. So from where we are in Jojitorium to where you are listening to this wonderful Thanksgiving Day episode, first and foremost, happy Thanksgiving. But secondly, and most importantly, cheers.
Cheers. Happy Thanksgiving, listeners. Happy Thanksgiving, Matt.
Happy Thanksgiving, Adam.
Woo.
Let's do this.